Well, hello everybody. It's Chris and Eric.
Hey, hey.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How are you? How are things?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Uh this is becoming a Sunday night tradition
Yeah,
and people are liking it. So, I guess we're just going to have to keep doing it
every Sunday.
every Sunday
I'm okay
night.
with that.
More
Yep.
Chris and Eric. So, here's what we were talking about, guys. Eric and I were doing the Park Hopper thing. We were kind of doing it as like a little mini series. It hasn't really been going anywhere for a while. And now we're kind of doing this weekly, so we're gonna take that concept and kind of evolve it into this YouTube show. So we'll have some theme park based episodes, including episodes where we debate the best and worst of the parks and probably make a lot of enemies in the comment section because we have opinions about stuff that might not vibe with your
Not so
opinions.
popular opinions,
Not
correct?
so popular opinions about theme park stuff. But we also worked there. We did our time, so we're allowed to. We're allowed to have opinions. In fact, Eric's very entitled to have his opinion because how long were you there?
13 years, sir.
Yeah, 13 years. Eric is more than entitled to his opinions on the parks. um, Also, I was doing my one man podcast, and some of the topics I was going to do for that I thought would be more fun to do with Eric, so I might be evolving that into this concept as well. But we're going to keep doing this every single Sunday, unless we're unavailable. But yeah, this seems to be like a thing we're doing now, so every Sunday night on YouTube. More of us. You guys
I'm
always
down.
wanted. And we're not doing this on Discord. We're actually doing this on StreamYards this time. So I am not reversed for once. You can actually read my shirt. It says
I know, right?
classically
And
trained.
the rest of that's a Hobbit poster. I thought it was a tough
Yeah, no,
poster. No.
no, that's not even. It would be Tibah first off.
Well, I mean, the bees would be kind of like eights, right? So they. I don't know how
Sure,
to. All
why
right.
not? To be fair,
To be fair,
the AWA poster would still say AWA on it.
yeah.
So not an
It's just the
issue
rest
there.
of it would be nonsense.
Yeah, well, my whole life is nonsense, so it's
Well,
all the
makes two
same.
of us.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, Again, great feedback from last week's episode. Shout out to my good friend Andy, who is a big fan, plans to watch even more, and loved the feedback that you gave him on his drum kit. By
Dude, that
the
was
way,
a sweet drum kit.
yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure he's already heard on the pod from the podcast, but like, I swear when I watched it, I was just like, damn, how big is his house? And I was like, oh, it's a church.
That would not be a
Like,
house. That would be a church.
I was just like, okay. It took me
So,
a little while until I noticed that there was just like these long bench seats. And then that's when it dawned on me, like, oh, hold up. Yeah, okay.
okay, so I don't remember if this happened when I was living here or if I was looking for a house in this area. I don't remember where this was. It was definitely up north. So I can't remember if it was Florida and we were looking or even possibly considering moving out of Lancaster or in Lancaster, but there was a listing on one of those house websites, Zillow or Trulia or one of them, and it was 100% a church that somebody had converted into a house. Because you look at it from the outside, you're like, that doesn't look like a very conventional house. And then on the inside, it's like, okay, well, there's like the living room, and you're like, that's a cathedral ceiling. You're like, this was a church, wasn't it? Somebody bought and literally converted it into a house.
I
So,
feel like that'd be the best way to get like a house. Because think of like the floor plan of a church. Like it's
mm-hmm,
all open space, and I
mm-hmm.
personally would love it.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
absolutely love it.
You'd have all the room in the world, especially in that main area.
Right?
You could put whatever you wanted in there. You could make it a party room, and you could put up sectional walls, and you could literally
Right.
turn it into individual rooms, as many as you wanted. You'd have the power. You know what you know what I would do? I would
Put a
make it
stripper pole in there.
sure, why not? I would make it. That'd be a big stripper pole. I just realized how tall that would be.
Yeah.
So yeah, when she falls, she dies. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, she's already in a house of worship, so
Here we go. Here we go.
that's how this
Anyway,
show is going to go.
it's like people don't know who we are. If you guys don't know who we are, well, first of all, if you're watching this, you already know who Eric and I are.
Mhm.
So you're getting an idea. For those of you who've just stumbled upon us on YouTube, hello. Welcome to our nonsense. This has literally been our friendship for the past we've been friends for over 10 years now.
Yeah, a really
12
long time.
years, 12, 13 years. And this has literally been our nonsense the whole time.
One of us will say something cool, and then we just try to one up each other by saying the dumbest things that we can possibly say to each other, just to make each other laugh.
And,
And
and cool is subjective.
phenomenal.
It's cool to us.
It's
Maybe
cool to
not
us.
maybe not necessarily to the general population.
Like,
But
check out this caterpillar. It's red.
dude, that's an awesome caterpillar. Everybody else is like, "What's wrong with you guys?" I painted the duck blue because I've never seen a blue duck before, and I wanted to see a blue duck. So,
Yep.
Eric, have you ever had an argument on the internet?
I've read plenty of arguments on the internet. The closest I've gotten to arguing on the internet is typing something out, holding my hand over the enter key, and then slowly moving over to the backspace key and removing everything, and then logging off and
I'm
putting on some
actually
Crunchyroll.
more impressive that you've got a better grip on that than I do.
I
Because
was
I've
like, you
hit
know
the
what?
button.
Let me not.
I've
You
hit the button. Oh, I've hit the button a couple times. So, internet's full of arguments that need to die. Now, we're not going to do any detrimental arguments because we don't do politics and religious crap on this show. You guys didn't come here for that.
I mean, we did just start off putting a stripper pole in an
that
old
wasn't
church.
even a religious thing. That was literally like I turned it into a house. There's a cat on the floor screaming in the background. She has entered the room. If I can get her attention, there'll be a cameo on the show. Eric's already got the cameo happening.
Oh, I saw the tail. I saw the tail.
Yeah, no, she's over there. She's over there. She wants to get in the window, but the other cat's there. So
Do they fight?
They don't like each other. So
They don't.
that's gonna
So
be.
we might actually see a fight.
Yeah, just watch the background for a minute. You might see something. I don't know. This isn't planned. We do this all in one take, guys. So. All right. Oh, and that reminds me, because I didn't finish my original point about the church layout. Put up. You know what I would do? That wide open space. I'd make the house like Clue. So when you walk in, there's just individual rooms that you can just walk in and out of into a giant foyer. Because I'd have the room for it.
Oh, my cat is literally meowing, trying to jump on me. So I'm trying to give her the opportunity. That's why you see me moving back and forth right now.
That's what I would be doing right now if the cat would come over here. But
Come on.
On this episode of Podcats, Chris and Eric try to get their cats to be friendly. There we go. There's a kitty. So we got one in the background and one on the lap.
Yep. That's fine.
For as long as she'll stay there.
She won't stay very long. She'll enjoy this for like a minute, and then she's just like, "Why are you touching me?"
My cat will actually get on the desk if you guys are lucky, but we haven't had that happen just yet. So anyway, that was a fun way to waste 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some arguments on the internet that need to go away. These are those pointless arguments that I find all the time on social media sites, on message boards, Reddit, things like that. I'm just like, why are we even having this discussion? What does it even matter? So
this is one of those things like, which is a better pet, cat or dogs?
Similar, yeah. Not that specifically. Because that argument actually has a little bit of merit behind it. That's a pet. You're taking that into your house. You're caring for it. You're spending a lot of money on it. Some of these arguments, well, they don't mean anything because they don't affect anybody else's personal lives. So it's a pointless argument. And that's what we're here for. Pointless arguments. Cheers to that. So
it's pointless arguments.
Pointless arguments. So
this show is not sponsored by Steak and Shake, by the way. It just happens to be the way I grab the cup.
This show is sponsored by my t-shirt store. It's Redbubble store, shop CKCC. Or our friend Adrian Cotton over at Motivational Vacations. Yeah, we can do all that stuff later. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a couple of these arguments. I'll throw it out there, and then, Eric, you can voice your opinion on it, and we can figure out what the argument is actually about and whether or not it truthfully needs to just go away. You ready for the first one?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, and this is inspired by this recent week and weekend of TV and movies, because as you know, very recently we had Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness came out. A very hyped, anticipated film.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ms. Marvel debut on Disney Plus. We had the highly anticipated Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And
Mm-hmm.
just now, before we're recording this, I finished the 4th season of Stranger Things,
Okay.
which I will not spoil for anybody, because that's the point of this topic that I picked here. So, first topic is the spoiler alert argument. So, let me kind of just go over what this argument is and why it needs to go away. The spoiler alert argument is basically this advent of social media and when is it okay to talk about the thing that you just watched, where you can actually discuss the things that would be considered spoilers in it. And a lot of it goes back to the whole argument with the popular spoiler being Darth Vader as Luke's dad. Obviously, the internet didn't exist in 1980, but there were still ways that almost got leaked. In fact, Mark Hamill himself said this in an interview, how there were these tabloids that would hang out outside the studio in England, and the original script called for the line to be, Obi-Wan killed your father, and that's actually what the tabloids leaked. And Mark Hamill was delighted because he was one of 3 people that knew the secret. And the best part was they kind of threatened him. Like, Ivan Kershner called him into the office, and he goes, I'm going to tell you something that I know, that George knows, and after I tell you, you'll know, because if it leaks, we're going to know it's you. He's like, it's like getting called into the principal's office. And he's like, I had to keep the secret for 1.5 years, and I was so scared I was going to talk in my sleep. But then, of course, he kept it, and during the premiere, it shocked everybody. And he said Harrison Ford turned around to him and went, hey, kid, you didn't fucking tell me that. And he goes, I only use the F-bomb for historical accuracy. So,
You know that wouldn't have happened had it been Tom Holland.
oh, yeah, we all would have known.
Yeah.
That's why I love the fact that, like, when they were filming the funeral scene in Endgame, they told him he was actually going to a wedding.
Imagine being that's what you're known for, and then they have to tell you a straight up fucking lie.
They have to keep elements of the script hidden from you. You don't get to know what your character is going to do at the end of the movie because you can't keep your mouth shut.
It's like
Tom Holland.
the reason he looks surprised every time he's on camera is because he actually is surprised every time he's on camera.
You're
He
like,
just
it's like
never
you didn't
gets
know
fed
it
a
was going to
script.
happen. He's like, I didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know I
know.
was Spider-Man. This is fucking weird.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. They CGI'd the suit on me and just told me to run around and do Spidey things. So usually the argument that I hear is, give a TV show 48 hours, give a movie a week. Okay. But then, of course, the argument is, do you put a time frame on it or blah, blah, blah. So here's why I think this argument needs to die, Eric, and tell me if you follow me on this one. Because there is 2 sides to this. First things first, if you go on social media and spoil something that you know for a fact everybody hasn't seen yet, you're an asshole.
Correct.
You're an asshole.
I've been called worse, but yes.
We've both been called it, but not for that. And, like, because, like, okay, so here comes Jurassic World Dominion, right? It's the first showing is at 5 p.m. on a Thursday, and you're going to that 5 p.m. showing, and you get out at 7:30, and the first thing you do is go on Facebook and talk about something that pivotal that happens in the movie. You know damn well that a lot of people haven't seen it yet. So you're just being a jerk. And if you're that kind of person, you kind of have to accept the fact that people are going to get mad at you. Well, I don't care. Okay, well, cool. So when they're not wishing you a happy birthday anymore because they unfriended you, because they're tired of your shit. However, with that said, if you're one of those people who's very desperate to go see something, right? So let's say Stranger Things, for example. I made sure to watch it this weekend because I know if I don't, I'm going to start getting spoiled on it, right? That's just how it's going to happen. Stuff's going to start popping out, even things as innocuous as memes. So you know what I did, Eric? This is going to shock you. You ready for this? I avoided social media because I didn't want to get spoiled. So you're telling me, if you're that desperate to see something, you can't stay the hell off Facebook for a day? What's happening on Facebook that's so detrimental that you need to be on it all the time? You can't just avoid it. Take a break, little break.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't jump on. I also appreciate spoilers, but without context memes. You know
Some of
what I
those are
mean?
kind of funny,
They're
like the spaghetti meme from Multiverse. That one made me laugh.
okay, yeah, yeah. So like, if you haven't seen it, you're not gonna understand, and it's not
Yeah.
gonna make any sense until you see it, and then you're just like, oh, cool. And in that way, they didn't spoil anything, but they're also not wrong.
Spoilers of that context can be kind of funny. Then of course you have the people who always think they're clever and they're just like, "Oh, I can't believe that like Darth Vader and Godzilla showed up in Endgame," and like, yeah, I never heard that one before. Like the fake spoiler thing is not nearly as clever as I think people think it is. They just,
Right. I
Uh,
mean, nowadays though, you got to kind of be like, well, is it though? Because when was the last time you saw a Michael Bay film and you're just like, all right, something weird is gonna happen.
spoiler, something blows up.
Something blows up and there's lens flares somewhere.
I also count for JJ.
Yeah, that's totally a
That's
JJ
JJ
thing.
Abrams. If it's M Night Shyamalan, spoiler, there's a twist.
There's a twist, and if there's not a twist, that was the
That
twist.
was the twist. UV Bowl, spoiler, it's gonna suck and you're gonna hate it. You're gonna wish you never saw it.
Tarantino, there's gonna be blood
And feet.
and feet.
And feet. He loves his feet. Oh God. So yeah, the thing is, when something like that comes out, most people who are desperate to see it and are big parts of the fandom are going to see it in a very short period of time. So yeah, I think the window isn't as long as people seem to want it to be to actually have open discussions about it. But again, if you do the spoiler thing, you're just being a jerk. So the argument needs to die because people need to just stop being jerks on the internet. Yeah, I know. I know what I just said. but But yeah, like if you don't want something spoiled, like okay, unless it's your actual job because you're in marketing to be on social media, during the workday or something, just get off for a day.
Also, I feel like if you're gonna go see a movie, right, and you're scrolling through social media and you haven't seen the movie yet, the moment you see a picture of that movie
Keep going.
that you haven't seen, keep
Don't
fucking
read.
going.
Don't
Just
read.
don't stop.
Keep going. Keep going.
Just yeah, don't stop there, and then read an entire paragraph and then go, oh man, spoilers, and then pretend like you're the fucking victim. You read a paragraph. That took some
Mm-hmm.
time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying it took an hour or anything, but it took like it wasn't just a glance down. Oh no, I just realized that, Vader's Luke's father, and now I'm ruined. You had to read some shit, is what I'm saying. Don't
Okay,
read some shit.
so like one thing that I did see about Stranger Things was they said there was an article where it's like, um, important character dies in final episode, and that was all it said. I don't really consider that to be much of a spoiler because I think everybody was expecting somebody to die. They just didn't tell you who it was unless you actually clicked the article. I don't have a problem with stuff like that because there are going to be people who want to see that stuff or they've already seen it, now they want to read the article. And sometimes I'll go back and read some of those spoiler articles because I want to see if they were right. Did you leak the right information?
I like the movies where the in the actual fucking title it spoils the movie for you.
Like, do you have an example?
I mean, I do. We'll keep it Star Wars though. Like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Or I got a good one. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Attack of the Clones.
What the hell? Why would they go with aliens for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Does nobody ever did nobody know their history? Does nobody know what the Crystal Skull is? The Crystal Skull historically supposed to be extraterrestrial.
I'm not gonna lie. When I heard the title and I didn't hear Crystal, I heard Gray Skull, and I was just like, "What? Like He-Man's gonna be in
Indiana
this?
Jones.
Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be terrible, but I want to see it. Like it's good. it's gonna
Where is
be one of
Dr.
those terribly
Jones?
good movies. You
It's
know what
my
I mean?
horrible Skeletor impression. Where is Dr. Jones? Bring him to me. I don't know where that accent went. I'm sorry. I can't do Skeletor. But yeah. The spoiler argument just needs to go away. Like, stop being an asshole and stop posting the spoilers. And if you're that worried about the spoilers, get off social media for a day.
Agreed.
You can stop scrolling for 24 hours. Not even 24 hours, for 12 hours. Until you go see the thing.
Yeah, and if it takes you more than 24 hours to go see the movie, then it's kind of on you.
Then stuff's going to start leaking, especially after the opening weekend. Something come out on a Thursday and you haven't seen it by Sunday night, stuff is going to start coming out, and you just need to be prepared for that.
Right. Now, it's okay to be mad about it. You're going to be, because, you know,
You're like, really? Not everybody can get... Because, like, I get it. People have families. People have kids. People have jobs. You know, things happen. People have
but at
budgets.
that point, you got to determine what's more important to you, your family or this movie.
Exactly. I'm
And
going to co-sign with that.
And it should always be the movie. Because family's forever, but spoilers will ruin the rest of your life, apparently.
All right, we're done with this topic. There's nothing we can add to this point. I'm going to just delete this off the list because, like... I got another one. This one definitely needs to go away.
Okay.
This one's really prevalent on social media. This is the ultimate boomers versus Gen Z argument. I'm specifically talking about the technology and the knowledge aspect. So, what do we always see the big argument being? Because if you're like me, you probably have a lot of older folks on your Facebook and a lot of younger folks too. Because, you know, we're in that weird millennial age, Eric, where...
Yeah, we're like not Gen X, we're like somewhere between Gen X and millennial.
So, like, we're using this... So, like, we're on the social media platforms that the boomers have learned how to use. And use in a hysterical way, like the motivational memes and everything. And, like, I bet no one will share this. Well, whenever I see that, I guarantee you I'm not, so... There's that for you. Here's the one that always gets me. When the older generation comes at the younger one about how, you know what I can do? I can write in cursive. And I can use a manual transmission. And then that same person will be like, I'm not going to learn how to send an email. I'm not going to learn how to use a smartphone app. I don't need to. While our technology is advancing to the point where, like, just to give you an example, perfect example, one of the things that happens at my job is FPI fingerprint clearing through a company called Identigo. Do you know how you sign up for your Identigo appointment, Eric?
No, never done it. But if you send me instructions via email, I'm pretty sure I could figure it out.
You probably could. You do it online. Everything's done online.
Okay.
That's the only way to do it. And they send your results via email. So if you're refusing to learn how to use a computer, you're going to have a problem there.
I feel like that's a technology, though, everybody should know how to use. And that's kind of an unfair advantage. There's certain things that, like, Gen Zs are not, they don't need to know anymore.
Well, that's the thing, right? Gen Z will come at the older generation, but they don't know how to do really basic stuff they probably should know how to do, including basic survival skills.
Okay, what do you count as basic survival skills? Are you talking about, like,
if the electricity goes out?
If the electricity goes out, Gen Z is fucked.
Exactly. They don't know how to survive without it because they're growing up in a tech-based reliability environment, and they don't know how to do some of this basic stuff. Yes, okay, you need to shut up about the cursive because that is something that is going away. It's not needed anymore. The only thing you need to learn in cursive is your signature, right? That's something that people do need to be quiet about. But what happens if you are a younger kid and all of a sudden the only car you can afford is a manual transmission, or you don't have a car? You're going to have to learn how to drive, right? I'm just using that as the one example, but
You know what's fucked up about that situation though? Uh, it's very different. Like the more expensive cars are manual transmissions now. Like the
yeah,
standard is automatic.
yeah,
So
which
I
is
mean, if you
weird to me.
find an older car,
Yeah.
then yeah, you'll have to learn how to drive a stick. But nowadays, they got you don't even need a lot of the automatic transmissions are CVTs, and they don't even shift gears. It's like it kind of just
Okay.
moves.
All right, so maybe that was a bad example, but think about like
Oh, there's plenty of things. I can think of a few
yeah.
things. I
Yeah,
know of a few
exactly.
things. I
So,
think it's a trade-off, though, right? Like,
well, that's the thing. Who sounds stupid in this situation?
both.
Everybody.
Everybody sounds fucking
Everybody
ridiculous.
sounds stupid. You're gonna rag on them because you can do stuff that's now outdated, and you're refusing to learn the stuff that you're gonna need to use as it evolves. But at the same time, they're gonna come at the older people and make fun of them when the older people have skills that they are never gonna that they would die. Power goes out right now. They're dead. We're gonna eat them. They're gonna be the first ones we're gonna eat because we need to survive.
Those skinny fucks? Nah. I feel
Everybody
like
comes out a loser in this situation. That's the thing.
right. They we both have like advantages and disadvantages, and I think I'm not 100% sure it's an equal trade-off because what the boomers have is like retirement plans, pensions,
Yeah,
and
we don't
like
have that.
right that's not going to be a thing for Gen Z. For us, we're like right at the cups, man. Like we can go either or. Like we have to like hammer it down. But I mean,
Yeah, but
the
the
struggle's different. The struggle for them was literally to survive, and that's why they know how to, right? And then for us, the struggle is getting cash, and they don't need that
that struggle.
because they got everything so fucking cheap. When you can get a brand new house and a brand new car, both in the same year
Hmm.
for under $100,000, you
On a
kind of get
minimum
a
wage
little
salary of a family of
yeah,
four with just the
right,
father working, like
right. Then
so.
and then Gen Z, we're kind of fucked the moment we go to college. I mean, let's face it, it's what 80 grand a semester, 4
Hmm.
semesters.
Hmm.
That right there is that's a house. That's a
Hmm.
house. So you can either choose to go to college,
You can buy a house.
which you'll make. Let's say you do make more. Let's say you make 20% more than minimum wage. It's not a whole lot, and now you're stuck paying a mortgage basically to pay back the school
So you're
for a
never gonna own a
career.
house because you're gonna be paying that the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So yeah,
or at least 10 years,
yeah.
whatever that, however long it's going to take you. It's probably more than 10 years though.
So yeah, so basically, yeah. What you make a good point there. Like everybody just shut up about the whole tech thing. Um, I'm sorry to the older generation, but you sound. I guarantee you that that's how dumb that you sounded when, like, think about what your parents probably said. I'm not gonna learn how to do that. Yeah, look how dumb they sounded. And now here you are doing the same thing. I'm not gonna learn how to do this.
It's probably their parents used to ride horses and they're like, I don't need to learn how to ride a horse. I
Nobody's
got
learning how to
this
ride a horse.
this Model T. Look
I
at
can
this three
crank. Look, I
horsepower
can look.
vehicle.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
Was it the car meme? Bam! This bad boy goes 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, you can fit 20 clowns in this bad boy. Slapping the
Oh my gosh.
Volkswagen. Yeah, so stuff needs to go away. That whole argument, the whole generational argument needs to go away. As far as like ragging on people for tech and stuff like that, like
Yeah,
just
even though
stop.
it's well deserved.
Just stop.
I personally love it. I love watching like reading these because they're funny to
Oh yeah,
me.
they're funny.
They're fucking
They can be
hilarious.
really funny. All right, I got another one for you.
Mhm.
This one's actually going to be a little near and dear to your heart, Eric, because you've
Okay.
probably had this argument before. PC or console?
Ooh. Um,
Ah,
I used to be PC all the way, right? But it also now it's just what game do you want to play? it doesn't fucking matter. Like it
Hmm.
really comes down to the game, right?
Yeah.
Now if I had a chance, if it's on available on everything, I'm gonna get it for PC because that backwards compatibility is just it's going to be there. Like it's always going to be there.
You can always play it. Yeah.
Right. Like I love my Super Nintendo,
Hmm.
but once that console was gone, I had the cartridges, can't do anything with it. However, now I can still play my Super Nintendo games on my PC.
Hmm.
So, I mean, as PCs get better, you're going to be able to emulate whatever you had on a console before. But current gen, man, pick whatever you want. Pick whatever like games appeal to you. You can't get the Spider-Man games on PC. So, if you're looking for Spider-Man, you're getting a PlayStation.
So you know what I hate the most about this argument, just as a general thing, and I've said this for a long time. Um, Even though gaming now is more of a mainstream appeal thing than it ever was before, the big issue I have here is that gamers still take a lot of flask from people outside the industry. There is still, even though it's a lot less than it ever was like back in the 90s, but there's still that whole stereotype of video games make you dumb, they make you violent, they're a waste of time, all this other stuff. Even though gaming communities have become much more popular and mainstream, it's still there. So why are we splitting ourselves eternally over something as stupid as, well, do you want to sit at your keyboard or do you want to hold a controller in your hand? And I get a lot of it is spec based.
Yeah, it's all about power, right? Like
Yeah.
remember 16-bit versus 32-bit?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
That
All
was
right.
those were fucking good commercials though.
Yeah. Because you got a Michael Jackson game on the Genesis. You didn't have that on Super Nintendo.
No. You didn't want it on Sega Genesis, but you got it anyway.
You, we didn't want this anyway, but you're a Michael Jackson guy, so I know you wanted it.
I like his music. That video game was garbage though.
But yeah, it all comes down to a spec thing. It's all about personal preference, but like people will just die on these message boards about like the PC elitist and everything. And don't even get me started on PC versus Mac. That's a whole other argument too.
For gaming, PC.
Well, no,
That
just in
that
general, like,
I will fucking fight for that.
oh yeah, but just PC and Mac in general, like, oh, just you want a good computer, you get a Mac.
I will say if you are a gamer, regardless of whatever you're doing with the PC, if you ever plan on playing any game, you go and get a PC. And that's even if there's certain programs that you can't get that Mac does like really well, like Final Cut or sorry, Final Cut Pro, stuff like that, like video editing and
Yeah, but they
music
also
editing,
haven't
stuff like
updated
that.
Final Cut in like 12 years.
I know I keep using Final Cut Pro as like an example, but
Yeah,
like Adobe Premiere is on everything, right? After Effects is on everything.
yeah, you can get
But
that
if
from
you
Mac
try
too.
to play the new God of War on Mac, good luck. Like, so you
Yeah,
might as well just build a PC if you plan on doing any kind of gaming. Now, if it doesn't matter, I really like the MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air and stuff like that. Maybe not the Air so much, but like a MacBook Pro, they last fucking a long time. They last a lot longer than a PC does. I will say that. But if you're not going for that, like if you're that type of person that is always staying like cutting edge or bleeding edge technology, that's not gonna fucking matter to you anyway,
yeah.
because you're gonna be changing it out the moment something new and shiny comes out.
For example, hey, the new graphics card just released, and I went to Micro Center with a buddy of mine, and there was a line out the door.
Yup.
We weren't even there for the graphics card. Like we had to go up and be like, "Yeah, we're not here for that. We're here for other stuff." They're like, "Oh yeah, you guys can come in."
Yeah.
Everybody else was stuck outside.
I'm just here to get a mouse. Can I get a mouse, please?
I just want a mouse. That's how I got my second monitor. So I got my little 2 monitor setup here. So I got the webcam over here and editing stuff over here. So I do a lot of this, but
Do you like how big is your Micro Center?
it's pretty big. It's
Yeah.
pretty big. Yeah, it's like the size of a Target. It's pretty
Okay.
big. It's got the separate rooms and everything. Like,
Yeah. All right. So it's about the same. It's probably then about the same size as the one that we got over here. And I know ours gets fucking slammed on new releases.
yep.
Like people are camping out with tents and everything.
Yeah,
So
which is awesome. I love it. I
it's
love it.
great, but it's also too close to the highway. So
Uh,
like one wrong turn by anybody and boom.
Now, Eric, is that a commentary on how they drive in Michigan, or?
No, they drive okay until they hit a pothole, and that is a comment on the streets of Michigan.
Yeah, well, we have that same problem in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you ever like drive on a street, right? Let's say Main Street. We're just using an example
Okay.
on Monday, and everything's fine. Maybe a crack
And on
in the road,
Thursday, I
and
know where
then
you're going with this.
not even on Thursday. On Tuesday, there's a cone out there. You're like, oh, they're gonna repair that crack.
No, they're not. That's just there so you don't drive over it.
And then on Wednesday, there's now a sinkhole. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that happen. Yep. Definitely seen that.
And then that
Ugh.
street's closed for a fucking month.
Forever. Forever. Yeah, and then of course you can even boil it down further. PS5 or Xbox, and it's just like, which one do you want? Which one were you able to get your hands on? Which one's got the game that you want? Just get it.
Here's what I like about Xbox, and here's what I like about PlayStation. Ready? I'm gonna give you the lowdown.
All right, I'm ready.
If you are a PC player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to get an Xbox. You don't. You just get Xbox Live. Play all the games. You're good to go. Anything that comes out for the Xbox, it's going to come out on PC around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I like about the PlayStation: the Spider-Man games.
Okay. Convincing argument. I don't know if I can add to that.
No, Horizon Zero West, right? Horizon West.
Horizon, yeah, Zero something, yeah.
I know it's okay. Well, whatever. The Horizon game, that's like really good. I like the Horizon Zero Dawn. It was like literally when I played it, it was like my game of the year, and I played it like 2 or 3 years after it released.
Nice.
And I was just like, Jesus, this is better than anything else that I've been playing this year. And I beat the game without jumping to another game, which is very impressive to me.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Because most of the time I'm like, even though I like a game like Elden Ring, I can only die so many times before I go, fuck this game, and play something else.
I'm done.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've died again. And yeah. I know I've seen the Elden Ring memes, so. All right, Eric, I got another one for you. This is a very popular topic on the internet.
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it in the right context. I think it's nice and sweet, right? So if you're having like a Hawaiian pizza and you're mixing like ham, pineapple,
yeah.
Yeah, like good shit. Good shit. Now, I think it's a little weird if you're getting like a barbecue chicken pizza and then not even then.
Hey,
I think it'd be weird if you're doing like one of those Alfredo pizzas and then you toss pineapple on it.
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Put whatever you want on your pizza.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right? Put anchovies. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Why do I care what you eat?
That's just it. I don't get this argument. Why do we suddenly care what people put on their pizza?
Right?
And why was pineapple the thing? Like, people have been putting anchovy on pizza for how long? Nobody ever cared.
Exactly.
Why was pineapple the hill everybody wanted to die on? I actually haven't figured that out.
You know what I can't have on my
haven't
pizza?
figured that out. What can't you have on your pizza?
Now, I like this in other things, right? Like if I had it in a Philly, I'd enjoy it.
Okay.
If I had it in like just it doesn't have to be in sandwich form, but I've had it in like pastas and I've enjoyed it and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, I cannot have mushrooms on pizza.
Okay.
And I think it's just a texture thing.
I hear that a lot whenever it's a mushroom. Whenever it's mushrooms, I always feel like it's texture as opposed to taste.
Yeah. Like I had a noodle bowl and it had like mushrooms and chicken and or sorry, not chicken, pork, um mixed with like the sauce and stuff, and it was fucking delicious.
That sounds good,
Um
actually.
like mushrooms in a Philly? Sure. It doesn't matter. Um mushrooms on a pizza? Ah, I don't know. Like I feel like mushrooms mixed with meat is great, but if I get an all like meat lovers pizza, don't put mushrooms on it either. Like I don't know. That's just how I
If
feel
you're
about
getting
it.
a meat lover's pizza, it's probably not coming with mushrooms.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like even if it did come with mushrooms, I wouldn't want the mushrooms on there.
So like yeah, like I don't mind if I get like a supreme pizza, where it comes with the peppers and the olives and the pepperoni and all that stuff. There's mushrooms on it. It doesn't bother me because it's all mixed in. Like I'm not gonna get the individual topping isn't gonna be mushrooms. I'm not gonna be like what do you want on your pizza? I'm not just gonna go mushrooms and leave it there. That's not gonna
Right.
happen.
I'm also
But
not in favor of ordering a supreme pizza either. So like if it's something that's there, it's already there, and I'm hungry, I'm eating it. I'm not
right.
saying I'm not going to eat it. I'm just saying if I had to order something, I'm not ordering mushrooms on my
Like you
pizza.
come over to my house and I've got some slices, and
Yeah,
one
I'm
of
gonna
them's a
have some.
supreme slice, and I offer it to you. You're gonna be like, oh, cool, pizza. I'm gonna eat that.
Right.
But if I go, hey Eric, I'm ordering a pizza. What would you like? You're not gonna be like, get me a supreme. You're gonna be like, meat it up,
Right.
cheese it
Or
up.
there's like, just a plain cheese, or maybe if I'm feeling spicy, a spicy Italian sausage.
Okay. So one of the podcasts I enjoy listening to, one of the wrestling podcasts, they got into this huge argument over pizza because the one host refuses to put toppings on his pizza at all, and he's just like, you don't need toppings. It's just plain cheese is just fine. Like toppings ruin it, and I'm just like, okay, now we're having an argument that I might have to join in on because
I
I'll eat a plain cheese pizza without a complaint, but to never put toppings on your pizza with how many different concoctions of pizza you can come up with.
I feel like and I'm pretty sure I've said this on the podcast before. If I'm getting pizza from a place I do not know, I'm only getting a cheese pizza.
You have to judge it first, right?
I have to judge how they make their pizza before I
Right.
can add on toppings. Because if
That's yeah,
they
I
fail
understand that. Yeah.
miserably on a cheese pizza, I am not trusting them with other ingredients.
That's why I've said that before when I go to a new restaurant. Sometimes I'll just order a cheeseburger and people are like, why are you getting a cheeseburger? I'm like, because if they can't do a cheeseburger, then they can't do anything. Like that's my
Yeah,
judgment call on the restaurant. Or like if I go to a diner, I get pancakes. Because what's a diner known for? 24-hour breakfast. And what's the best breakfast item to get at a diner that you just can't get at home?
waffles.
Giant dinner plate size. Yeah, okay. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Dinner plate size pancakes. Big, thick, like this thick, fluffy pancakes. You can't do that, right? Then I don't trust anything else that you're giving me.
Right.
So, like, but I just don't it's so to me, the pineapple on pizza thing is the Phantom Menace argument. Nobody I knew really hated the Phantom Menace until the internet somehow decided they were supposed to, and then all of a sudden everybody had an opinion on it. And I'm like, you didn't hate this movie, or
It
at least you weren't like you didn't passionately hate this movie. Why suddenly now?
it's the Jar Jar Banks argument, right? Like hear me out, right? He's not a bad character, but he is the worst part of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I've
and
also heard like the political stuff and the trade disputes and
I mean,
but
yeah,
how do wars get started? So it's kind of makes sense. It just this happens to be a space war. But no, I get what you're saying about Jar Jar, and he wasn't designed for us. He was designed for the kids.
right,
That was Lucas
right.
trying to get his humor over. So, but at the same time, I didn't hear anybody ever passionately going ape about the Phantom Menace, and all of a sudden everybody was one day because somebody on the internet went for it, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, here's somebody I can now be comfortable and talk about how much I hated it." And it's like you didn't care until you thought you were being part of the cool crowd.
Mm.
And
You see these
that
fucking
brings
cats?
me, yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
And that brings me to my next topic. Any final thoughts on pineapple on pizza before I move on here? Like,
No, have it if you want it.
yeah, if you want to eat it. Like, I
Right.
don't and like, if people are like, well, it's not real pizza if they put pineapple on it. Well, you know what's also not real pizza? American New York style pizza. Real pizza is margarita pizza from Italy.
Uh,
So, because that's what the original pizza was. So if you, we can break this down and turn it into a thing if you want to.
have the pizza the way you want to have the pizza. I've said
That's
this
the
at
point.
Disney
Yeah.
for other reasons, but like, why do I care what you put in your mouth?
Dude, I don't care what anybody else eats. Like,
Yeah.
eat what you want, as long as then somebody's gonna go, what if they're eating a human? Anybody I know?
Right?
So, like, all right. Well, that leads me to the next argument, where nobody had an opinion until the internet decided. Nickelback.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Okay, we're really going here, huh?
We're doing this. We're going there.
Okay. What's your thought on Nickelback?
I don't have an issue with the band, and I haven't heard a good enough argument from anybody to justify the hatred, the general hatred that they get, because the only true arguments I've ever heard are either, well, Chad Kroger's a douchebag. Okay, who do you listen to? Start naming them, and let's see who else comes up in that list, because I guarantee you that's not going to be a solid enough argument by itself based on what many people's individual music type is. Second argument I always hear is that their lyrics suck, and I go, okay, well, what songs are you talking about? Because other than Rockstar and Photograph, and all of a sudden nobody has another song to mention, because apparently their entire discography is judged by those two songs.
You know, it's funny though. I only know them by those two songs. I can't name another song they've done. And the
Okay.
fucked up part is, as much as I say I dislike those songs, and I do, I also like those songs.
They're cheesy.
They're one of those songs where I'm just like, ugh, and then I turn up the volume. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those songs where like I know all the words to it, and because of that,
I'm gonna
I
open my
like the
Spotify
song,
playlist.
so I play the song.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna make sure that the volume's all the way down in case I accidentally hit play here. So, if you go to Nickelback on my playlist,
But that's why
I don't have that many Nickelback songs, but like I have an amount. Okay, so like so argue with me about this one, people. This is not you, Eric. I'm just saying like the general populace. These are the lyrics to "How You Remind Me." One of their most popular hits that they play. They play this pretty much the most on like the top hit stations. Like on the
okay.
80s to now station I listen to, this is the Nickelback song that I hear. Here are the lyrics. Never made it as a wise man. I couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Tired of living like a blind man. I'm sick of sight without a sense of feeling. And this is how you remind me of what I really am. So those are actually some pretty deep cutting lyrics right there.
I actually don't mind that song. I know what song you're
But
talking about.
everybody talks about I'm through with standing in lines to clubs I'm never gonna get in. Like,
It's literally not the band. It's just those songs. You ever just hear a song that you started off really liking, but then they played it so much where you're just like, the next time I hear this song, I'm going to go ape shit, and everybody around me is probably going to die. Like
because
it's one of those
if
things.
I listed my top 10 favorite songs by Papa Roach, you know what's not in the top 10 at all?
Which one?
Got my life into pieces. They have so much better music, but that's the one everybody focuses on.
Right. And that is what I think happened to Nickelback.
And okay, and I can understand that, but like people will now they'll be like, "Oh, Nickelback is the worst band of all time." I'm like, the worst band of all time, out of every other band who has ever existed, attempted to put out a CD, performed in a concert. Nickelback is the worst. You really can't come up with anybody worse than that. And The only reason people ever think of Nickelback is because they're thinking of, well, if I could just Google, like, what are bad bands, Nickelback will come up because of the internet, and I'll just go with that. I don't know. I think the argument is just, I think the argument's stupid.
It is.
Because I don't
It's
think
dumb.
nobody's doing anything justifiably hating of Nickelback. They're parroting arguments that other people put out on the internet, and now they're just like, oh, I agree with that, so now that's my argument too. There's nothing
They do that.
original about it.
They do that with like a lot of different bands though, because like now they're trying to get like Imagine Dragons on that list.
Yeah, because Corey Taylor called them the next Nickelback, and now
Right.
as soon as
And
he
I'm
said
just
that,
like,
everybody's like, oh yeah, Imagine Dragons are the next Nickelback. No, you don't think that. Corey Taylor thinks that.
right. I mean, I could think of a few worse bands. By
There's
worst bands,
terrible
I mean
bands
just
out there.
Fred Durst.
Oh, now you done it. Do I have to turn off the comments for this episode now? Now you done it.
You know, somewhere Dan just went, someone's talking shit about Limp Bizkit.
His, his Freddy sense just tingled. Like,
Yeah.
chocolate starfish.
That's great.
I know, and that's another thing. And I actually did enjoy early Limp Bizkit, but that's actually a good comparison. You're gonna tell me Nickelback's the worst band ever, and then I'm gonna see Nookie on your playlist. Like, all right, let's back up a second here. Like, and I've heard other bands in that thing too, like Five Finger Death Punch. I've heard a lot of people go nuts over how much they hate them.
I'm not a fan. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything.
I'm not
it's
big on them, but like,
it's
not
not my
that
jam.
bad. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
There are bands that literally put out music that doesn't sound like music at all. There are musical artists who don't even sing. They auto-tune their voice so much it's not even their actual voice, and they're making millions and millions and getting all these gold and platinum records from people. Like,
Daft Punk, but I actually like Daft Punk. So
but I understand the example, yeah.
yeah.
But then there's like, and then people are like, oh, Ed Sheeran is terrible. He's a horrible singer. I'm like, he's actually a really good singer. Are you just saying you don't like his lyrics or his songs? No, he can't sing.
Or like John Mayer. John Mayer's a good singer.
Yeah. And then people will be like, oh, but Bob Dylan's a legend. And I'm like, Bob Dylan was a legendary songwriter, but he wasn't a great singer.
See,
Kinda
that's
like-
the thing, right? Like, let's think of legends right now.
Okay.
Bob Marley,
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix,
Elvis Presley.
Elvis,
Elton John.
Elton John. They
Freddie
did
Mercury.
not start off as legendary,
No.
as legends.
You're right.
They worked their way up there, and I'm pretty sure they also had some garbage
Yeah.
songs along the way. And since
Because
the internet wasn't around, they just got lost in time.
because for every Ride the Lightning, there's a Saint Anger.
I mean, you gotta take it, right? Like,
Exactly.
you're not always on your A game, because then your A game wouldn't be your A game.
Yeah. If you don't like Nickelback because you just don't like the music, you don't like the lyrics, like whatever, like as a general statement, you don't like them, that's fine. But people are making it their whole personality. Like, same thing with the pineapple on pizza thing. Like, now that's your personality. Like, why? Why is that
Like-
the thing? Like you go to somebody's, like, their Twitter thing, and they're just like, age, father of whatever. And then, of course, we have to know what their political and religious views are, because that's always in there. And then it says, pineapple doesn't go on pizza. Like, really? In your Twitter bio? Okay.
I'm going to get hurt for saying this,
Oh, boy.
but like, Nickelback to me
I got the box cutter ready.
is kind of like a watered down Hinder.
Interesting comparison. Okay.
Like, I love Hinder,
Mm.
but I couldn't, like, one, I don't know all these songs, right? Like I like the music and stuff like that, but I don't know the lyrics. But every time Hinder comes on, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna have a good time. It's not like Disturbed, where it's just a masterpiece every fucking song.
Well, Disturbed comes on, I crank the volume.
Right. Disturbed comes on, and I'm just like, okay, everybody shut the fuck up.
Linkin
I need to
Park.
hear this. Linkin Park's the same way. You got your favorite bands, and then you got bands that produce good music. And I just feel like,
You have bands on your playlist.
yeah, you got bands on your playlist, and I can't see myself putting Nickelback on that playlist, but I can see myself putting Hinder on that playlist, and I honestly kind of consider them to be almost one and the same.
Okay.
That's where I felt like I might get hurt for saying.
It's an interesting compare. I've actually haven't heard that one before, so that is an interesting way of looking at it. Like, I can't stand Greta Van Fleet, and then people are like, oh, but they sound so much like Led Zeppelin. I'm like, no, they don't.
Led Zeppelin sounds like Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin sounds like Led Zeppelin. They do not sound like Led Zeppelin. But if you like them, that's great. Like, and that's another thing too. Like, people will just they'll die on the hill of the band that they don't like. With Nickelback being the prime example, but I've heard it from other bands that I'm a big fan of. Like, somebody will come at me, and I'm not going to say who this person is because this is a dead topic at this point. But you know, one of my friends hates Hailstorm, knows that's one of my top 3 bands, and every time I mention them, he brings up how much he hates them, and I'm like, why do you insist on doing this every single time? You've already made your point a long time ago. Now you're just doing it to be like. Now you're just doing it for the attention.
See, I know that feeling because I mean, like I like Michael Jackson songs.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people are just like, ugh, why? I'm like, because it's fucking awesome.
Because we're not
Like
talking
all of his
about
jams.
and then that's another thing. They're just like the Chad Kroger argument. Well, he's a douchebag. Oh, I can still like his music. Like, how can you listen to Michael Jackson with all the things that he did? Because I'm listening to the song.
The same way I can say that Remix to Ignition was fucking fire, but I do not like R. Kelly.
But I don't like R. Kelly. Exactly. I don't like the guy who sang it, but I have, and I'll admit this because it's not a secret anymore. More than one on my ultimate playlist with like 4,000 songs. There is more than one Justin Bieber song. Why? Because I listened to the song and I liked it. Does that mean I'm a Justin Bieber fan? Hell no. Guy's a douchebag. He got kicked out of Disney.
He did get kicked out of Disney, but like, let's look at it now as adults, right? He's a teenager. They just threw money at him.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever
He's gonna
telling
be a
him
jerk.
no.
Exactly.
He's gonna be a douchebag.
Yeah.
I feel like now he's more down to earth.
Canada's not going to get it right 100% of the time. For every Ryan Reynolds, we got a Bieber. So, you know, it's a thing.
Yeah.
I'll pop the wrestling fans with this one. For every Bret Hart, there's a Hannibal. The wrestling fans just laughed at that one. That guy's a train wreck.
Hannibal?
Yeah, he's a train wreck. Him and his YouTube videos. I'm not gonna link any of them if you guys want to look that stuff up. But he's just, yeah.
Like there's stories that need to be said there.
Actually, hold on. This might be good publicity because I've heard if you put him down, he does a video about you.
Wait,
if you put him down publicly, he does a video about you. Because he can't stand the negativity. Well, I just put him down right here, and I'm in the wrestling business. So Hannibal, what you got?
I've never even heard of this man.
Give me my my diss track. Come on, I'm
Who is
ready
this
for
guy?
it. Just don't, Eric. He'll be happier. Look up Bret Hart matches. You'll be much happier. Because Bret Hart's a legend. Where'd my list of things go? Okay, so I can take Nickelback off here now. I think we've pretty much destroyed that argument at this point. Like, good God. Okay, I got one.
All right, go for it.
I call this the Friends / Big Bang Theory argument because these are the 2 shows that always come up in this. Stop. Everybody stop trying to judge.
You know what? Hold up. I think I know what you're about to say.
I don't think you do, actually.
You're talking about the people who dislike these shows, right? And they complain about them?
It's not that they're calling them terrible shows. They're questioning the intelligence of people who like them. Who cares what you're entertained by?
these are just people who don't like the show and are so mad that you are actually getting enjoyment out
That
of
they're
these shows.
trying to make themselves sound like an elitist by going against you.
Correct.
I hated Friends. That doesn't mean that somebody's stupid for liking it. That's such a stupid argument.
Right? I liked
It
Friends.
literally makes no sense, though.
But I
it
liked
makes
Friends
no
because I
sense.
didn't really have cable, and WB was the only channel that I got.
Look, it was my option, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, how many of us grew up on shows on CBS and NBC and Fox and ABC and all that stuff, like PBS. Like, we were PBS kids, because when growing up, I watched Sesame Street on PBS. It's like, oh, what kid shows did you grow up with? Like, I grew up with Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, because that's what I had access to.
Nightmare on Elm Street and Care Bears.
That explains everything about you, Eric. Like, more than you realize. And I use Friends and Big Bang Theory because those are the two most popular shows that I see come up in the arguments. Like, oh, because I've seen the Venn diagram, right, where it's like, it's a show about smart people for stupid people, which is Big Bang Theory. It's a show about stupid people for smart people. It's always Sunny. Show about smart people for smart people, Rick and Morty. And then show about stupid people for stupid people, Friends. I'm just like, okay, so I guess those people are just stupid, but who are you to judge somebody's intelligence level for finding, like, entertainment in that? Like, Big Bang Theory, one of my all-time favorite TV shows, so you're now calling me stupid. They're like, well, no. You literally just called me stupid because I find enjoyment in that show. So here's my favorite argument against this. I'm not going to say who presented me with this argument because they might be watching. So one of my friends tried to do the elitist thing on me on Big Bang Theory and said, well, I don't like laugh tracks on my shows. I said, okay. He goes, yeah, I don't like my show telling me when I'm supposed to laugh. Okay. That's why I like shows like The Office. Sure. Okay. So why is one of your all-time favorite shows How I Met Your Mother? Well, in that show, no. We're gonna take a step back here, because what you did was you took the argument to try to make yourself sound smarter and made yourself a hypocrite. Because I know you love How I Met Your Mother, a show that decisively has a laugh track. Well, the context, we're not talking about the context because that wasn't your argument. You can't now suddenly turn around and say that. You told me I was stupid for liking Big Bang Theory because of the laugh track. And now you're trying to backpedal because I called you out. And I never got an answer to that because they didn't have an answer for me. That's not a commentary on Big Bang Theory or How I Met Your Mother.
Can I tell you what I like about those two shows that you just mentioned?
Sure.
So Big Bang Theory, I love the interactions between Raj and what's his name? Howard. And then I love the bashing of Sheldon throughout the entire show. And then the one-liners that Sheldon has throughout the entire season. Like, every time Penny comes over for the password.
Penny gets her own Wi-Fi. No spaces.
Yeah. I just think that I love all those banters, like the bantering back and forth, because even if it was not intelligent stuff, right? It's just a group of friends doing things that friends do.
That's relatable.
Like, exactly. So even if you don't get the content or like what they're talking about, you understand. Because it's like,
what was How I Met Your Mother about? What was Friends about? What was Seinfeld about?
I don't know what Seinfeld
Friends doing stuff.
Like, yeah, it's literally just friends doing stuff together.
Friends doing stuff and interacting with each other.
It's all the same. It's all the same, just
different
around
context, different environment, different types of people.
Right. And if you want the extreme version of Friends, it's just Always Sunny.
Exactly. Oh, Charlie Day.
Literally, it's just like, you want to see worst case scenario, watch It's Always Sunny.
Watch It's Always Sunny, exactly. But the intelligence level of somebody is not determined by the type of shit. And then somebody's going to come back and be like, well, what about people who watch Honey Boo Boo or Duck Dynasty? What do you care?
I
Are
I
they
have started to
forcing you
say
to
that.
watch it? Okay, I'm
Yes,
listening.
some people have forced me to watch it. I've had some people like, "Oh, you have to watch an episode because then you'll get hooked." And me being
No.
stupid, I was just like, they got a point. You can't like something until after you've had it, right?
Give it a
So I
fair
watched Honey
shot,
Boo Boo,
sure.
and I was just like, "The fuck?" And then they look at me like, "Right?" I'm like, "No, no, not right. Like it's bad. I don't like it. Like
But
this is wrong.
you
You can
gave it,
watch it, but
and this
please."
is, well, that's a thing. I think those people have given those shows a fair shake, but at the same time, I think they're trying to sound like they're better than you because you like it and they don't. And going back to the person who gave me the hailstorm argument that one time, they tried to come at me with, well, I like artists who put substance in their lyrics, and all Lizzie Hale sings about is how she wants to bang you and how she's better at it than other people are. And then I'm like, okay, so if I go through your playlist right now, you're going to tell me right now that I'm not going to find every band that I'm going to come across is going to have excellent substance, right? Because 100% of them better if that's what your argument's going to be. Because your word, if you just said I don't like Lizzie Hale's voice, if the whole thing was just, well, I just don't like their type of music. I don't think the songs are very good. I don't like the beats or whatever. Like, okay, then that becomes an opinion thing. When you try to make yourself smarter as a result, now I can find holes in your logic. It's the whole pro wrestling thing that I've had to deal with my entire life being a pro wrestling fan. People are like, I just don't understand how it's fake garbage. I'm just like, well, it's not fake garbage. Can you have you ever, like, can I explain to you what the intricacy of pro wrestling is and the art of it? Well, no, because it's fake. So you're just not going to give it a chance. So then there's no point in having this argument. So then you can't just tell me that I'm stupid for enjoying it if you're not even going to let me explain why I like it. Like, that's the thing, right? Like,
People like what they like, and there's always gonna be people who dislike you for liking certain things, which I've never understood.
one of my
It's
friends,
fine. It's just not my thing, right? And then I just won't do that thing, or sorry, you can enjoy that thing, but I just won't be around to enjoy it with you. Like, if
yeah,
that makes any sense.
if it makes you happy, just, like, enjoy it. Like, that's the stuff that you like. Like, I don't know. It goes back to the whole PC console, like the PC thing. Like, well, I like my PlayStation 5 because I like PlayStation. I like the exclusives, and I like the feel of the controller. Cool. So what am I supposed to say about that? Well, my PC's better than your PlayStation. Okay, well, nothing they said about the PlayStation had anything to do with that. So I'm
Do you have have you seen the meme where it's basically it's just like, oh, the PC is stronger than your console, and then it's the person's like, yeah, but is your PC stronger than my console?
I
And it's just
love that one
and it's just like,
because
man,
that
it's
usually
that
shuts
face.
them up so fast. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that shut a couple people up. Okay. We're running
So
over it.
I have a few questions for you. Have you
Yeah,
done
yeah.
anything super nerdy outside of your house lately?
Super nerdy outside of my house.
Yes.
Trying to think of what you might be meaning by
Gone to a comic book store or a hobby
that.
store
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah,
anything like
yeah.
that? Or
I have a store called Complete Inbox. It's a hybrid video game slash comic book store. So on the one side, they've got all the comic books, they've got the new releases, they got all that stuff, and on the other side, they've got all the games. And it's one of those reused stores too, so you can buy classic NES and Super Nintendo, N64, all the way up to PS5. So, like, everything's there. Yeah, yeah, I go to that store quite frequently, actually.
so the last 2 weeks we've been going to this place called Volta Midnight. Um,
Volta Midnight.
it's in
Okay.
Ann Arbor. It's great. It's a great like comic book slash game store,
Okay.
but they focus more on like the comic books and manga and stuff like that.
Okay.
They had a role playing free weekend where you got to go there and pick up a campaign type of thing for free. It's like a little one shot adventure that you can run for
Okay.
people. Um, and then today we actually went to a place called up Sylvan's Factory, and it was a little comic, not even a comic book store. This was just a straight up game store. Dude, this
Okay.
place was fucking nice, man. Like,
Now, when you say games,
you,
you mean video games or like board games and stuff too?
we're talking about like board games, tabletop games,
Ooh, okay.
um,
I love those
Magic the
stores.
Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, like all that
That's right
stuff.
up your alley.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it existed. Actually, like we found this place. This place was like next to where we first lived in Michigan, like when we came from Florida. And we don't know how long it's been there, but like it was super nice, man. Um, we went and picked up some Magic cards because Rebecca's into Magic now,
Okay.
and we're gonna build our first deck. Uh, and we just realized like we never really looked around for like little local game stores, little game shops and stuff like that. And I didn't know if you had any near you or not, like
Oh
any
yeah,
that
yeah.
you visited. We also visited another place they're called like Upkeep something. Pretty cool place as well. But
I need to
I just wanted
find.
to give them a shout out because they like, dude, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how super nice everything was. And me coming from Disney, I always have that like judging customer service type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say top notch, I mean
Mm-hmm.
fucking blow Disney out of the water top notch.
There you go, dude. So like, I'll go to Hershey Park, and I'll totally be judging like what the employees are doing, like how they're leaning, or how they're not smiling, and I'm like, man, I don't even understand this. You're doing stuff that I could never get away with,
I know, right?
but you did
How
it
dare we
anyway.
not smile in 110-degree weather?
But we did it anyway. All right, we're running past the hour now, but I just got a few more here.
Okay.
Here's one that comes up every freaking year. When is it too early to start celebrating a holiday?
Well, we're filming this on Sunday, July 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow is the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I see people setting up their grills today,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of want to choke them out. So, no,
Not where I thought you were going with that, but okay.
no, I'm just like, depends on the holiday, I guess.
Okay.
I'm the type of person where if it doesn't affect me, I do not care. Like if I were to just drive around and I see a house and it had Christmas lights on it right now, I'd be like, weird, but cool, but weird.
I actually do know houses that have lights up all year round. Like I've
Like
seen them.
on, like
Yeah,
on.
like on. And I don't mean like, the stereotypical, oh, it's a trailer park, blah blah blah. No, these are like actual houses. Like, and they just have
And
lights.
they're still blinking and everything.
I mean, it's not like a crazy Christmas display. It's usually an all white light setup that like lines their fence or whatever. They probably
Oh,
leave it. They
okay.
probably just leave it up, but it looks like a light display, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah. I was thinking like Osborne lights type of thing.
that'd be awesome.
It's just
That'd
like
be
all
awesome.
year round.
But like, so the argument comes up every single year because this is another one. Everybody apparently has a rule about when it's okay to put your Christmas tree up, and everybody has to follow their rule about it. And I've heard all the different ones. The two most common ones I hear are December 1st and the day after Thanksgiving. Those are the two most common ones that I always hear. Because apparently that's like the rule. Either Black Friday or whatever or December 1st. And then they always come at it with, I like to celebrate my holidays in order. First of all, how do you decorate for Thanksgiving other than the table that night? It's like, what's a Thanksgiving decoration? Because when I see
I
Thanksgiving
got you.
decorations, they're just fall decorations.
A Thanksgiving decoration is sweatpants. Stretchy sweatpants.
Stretchy sweatpants, exactly. Because I'm going to eat, and it's going to be wonderful.
At some point, I'm gonna lean back, undo my belt, and go, yeah,
Yeah.
and then nap until Christmas.
Exactly. So like, I put my
I would-
so I put my Christmas tree up early.
Okay.
I put it up at the beginning of November. And here's why I do it. A, I like it. I like having it. If I'm going to go to the effort of putting the thing up and decorating it, I want it up for longer than a month.
I
B,
agree with that.
I have cats, so I have to put the tree up and then not touch it for a week so they get used to its presence, so then I can decorate it so they don't go nuts on it,
I respect that.
because that's how cats operate. And I've been to a couple of Thanksgivings at families' houses where they had the Christmas tree up as atmosphere for the Thanksgiving dinner. And I liked that. But
I
here
like.
is, if you're not going to take anything else away from any of the other topics we talked about, whether you listen to Nickelback or put pineapple on your pizza or you buy a PlayStation instead of an Xbox, my Christmas tree going up on November 1st does not affect you in any way, shape, or form, so why do you care? Why do people care? And it makes no sense to me. And why is it only Christmas? I start decorating for Halloween on September 1st. No one has an issue with that. And then
I
somebody
think
always goes, well, it's because Christmas has become too commercialized and it's everywhere. And Halloween isn't?
right.
Halloween's just as out there as Christmas is.
You know what I think it is? One, I know what the title of this episode should be. It should just say, "If it doesn't affect me, I don't give a shit."
Well, no, this is going on YouTube. I can't put that in the title.
Oh, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
See, look at that, Eric.
And then, like, because literally that's what, like, everything that we've said down, like, that we've come to a conclusion about today has been, does it affect me? No, I don't care.
Exactly. And thus the point of why we're having this episode. Because at the end of the day, none of this stuff affects the other person, so why do they have to make it into a thing? It all boils down to the whole... I think honestly it's all an ego thing. You want people to think the way that you do because you feel like it's the right way to do it and you don't like that somebody's doing it differently. So in order to appease your ego, you're going to come up with reasons that would make them feel like they can't or shouldn't do it to make yourself feel better, and thus nobody wins anything.
Do you know the balls you would have to do to, like, to do a power move, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you were still working at a park.
Yep.
I won't say which.
Well, I did both,
But
so...
a park.
Okay.
Okay.
I did both.
And
For
they
equal time.
reward you for doing a good job with a pizza party. And the only pizza they got
This is
you...
no longer the parks. This is the warehouse now, but thanks.
The only pizza they got you was pizza with pineapples on it. Just because they know it's going to start shit. That's the type of person I want as a boss. Because
God.
I would respect it, and it would be me. That's something I would do.
If only I was managing the hotel again. If only.
Good job, everybody. Here's some Hawaiian pizza.
So what, you got pizza? Why'd you only get pineapple? Well, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I thought this
Does it
was our
affect you?
reward. It is. You get a choice now. You can either eat the free pizza or you can complain about it. What's it gonna be? Now, again, if somebody's allergic to it, then you're just being a jerk.
Who's allergic to pineapple? Is pineapple an allergy test?
Dude, you could be allergic to anything.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
You can be allergic to anything. When I was a camp counselor at my very first ever job, and I got the list of the kids' allergies, my all-time favorite one was it said, might be allergic to kiwi. And we always laughed at that because even as a 14-year-old kid at his first job, I was like, okay, first of all, if he might be allergic to it, that's not going to matter because nobody's going to have kiwi at a Cub Scout day camp. Number two, might be? Maybe we should figure that out before we send him off by himself to camp. That might be a good idea. That one always stuck out. Might be allergic to kiwi. Yeah, okay. You know, I mean, like the common stuff I could understand. Peanuts. Bees. Like, that's the stuff you have to watch for. Lots of kids
Peanut
butter.
allergies are, like, fucking wild, man.
Yeah, they're very dangerous. And peanuts are in a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying there's anything, like, I'm not saying anything against anybody who's got an allergy to anything. But, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you know somebody's allergic to something and you get it, you're being a jerk. But like if you're being conscious about it, then
Even if you're being like cautious about it, the fact that you can buy a Snickers bar, bite into it, and someone would die 10 feet away that
yeah,
you've never met before
yeah.
because of the smell of it is it's fucking
And I know
ridiculous.
how much you love your Snickers bars.
Could you imagine like you get on an airplane and they don't offer you peanuts and you're just like, all right, who's the asshole? Like,
Well, airplanes don't offer anything any these days, so especially looking at the airline I was gonna be looking at for Halloween Horror Nights. I won't say the name of it, but I know they're not gonna be.
Southwest.
No, it's not them. It's another one with a reputation, but it's the cheap one, and they don't offer shit, so I'm gonna have to just deal with it.
JetBlue?
No, JetBlue's great, dude.
I know. I was trying to figure out like who goes to Florida from where you're at.
First of all, everybody, so that's not gonna narrow it down for you.
Well, you're having a direct flight though, right?
Of course, I'm not doing
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to
connect
say. Like a lot of
connect in Atlanta. Get the hell out of here. I think my favorite one I saw there was like a connect in Tampa, and I'm like, what's the point? Just take me to Orlando. What's the point? You're already going there. It's on the way. Just drop me off.
I had I have to tell you this story of the wildest fucking airplane connecting flight that I've ever had, and it
Okay.
was so fucking stupid.
Okay, I'm listening.
So I'm leaving Puerto Rico, right? I was with my grandparents. I was leaving Puerto Rico. We got on the plane. They could not land at Orlando International for whatever reason.
Okay.
So we had to go to the Sanford one, Sanford
Okay.
Airport. So we flew to Sanford. We got off at Sanford to get a connecting flight from Sanford to Orlando. They flew from. I'm not joking. We flew past Orlando to Tampa to get another fucking connecting flight from Tampa to Orlando.
That's amazing.
I spent the whole fucking day just fucking flying.
Dude, at that point you could have just gotten out at Sanford, just grabbed a taxi.
I should have. I was about to go. Can we let's go to Miami? Why not visit all the fucking airports
Hey,
before we
how's
like
Jacksonville doing?
well,
I hear
exactly.
Pensacola's nice this time of year. Let's go all the way to the end of. Let's go to another time zone.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Screw it. Let's go to Dallas. Why not?
I was so tired too. I think it was like we left at like 12 or 1 or something like that. I didn't get home till like 8, 9 o'clock. It was so dumb. It was real bad.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Like what's the point?
Well, especially in the Sanford Airport. The Sanford Airport was just basically, all right, get off this plane and go on to that one. Like you're not even going to touch you're just going to walk across the runway.
Yeah, you don't
like,
even go inside.
Yeah, I was just like, there's no point. Just go over here.
You don't even go inside. All right. The only other things I had written down, Apple or Android. That's an argument that's just out there. Like, it's a cell phone.
Okay, I will say this. I understand that there is more than one provider, but it literally comes down to Google or Apple, because those are the two companies, right? You can pick Google, that's fine. Nothing wrong with Android. But I've never met a more stubborn group of individuals than people who have Android phones. They're just like, they're like, oh, I could do so much with my Android phone. Like, yeah, but you don't. You use the same shit that you would have used on an Apple phone.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I've heard that too. Like,
I'm just like, you just text all day and watch YouTube videos. Congratulations.
I can do that on my iPhone right now. Exactly. And who cares? Yeah, who cares what kind of phone you have? If it does the phone work for you? Cool.
Right.
Use that phone. Case closed. Another one. The book was better. Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah. So you don't have to point it out.
The book doesn't have time constraints.
Yeah, exactly. Or this one drives me nuts. How have you never seen this movie? When somebody says, like, so here's how I operate versus how the majority of people on social media apparently operate. Eric, what's a movie that you've never seen before? Just name one off the top of your head.
I don't know, but let's say Star Wars.
Okay. All right, so you're watching Star Wars for the very first time. You've never seen a Star Wars movie. You're watching for the first time. And you tell me that. Here's how other people are going to react. They're going to go, you've never seen Star Wars? How have you never seen Star Wars? It's so popular. It's been around since the 70s.
Like your mom. Sorry.
Damn it.
And that's how I break Chris.
This sucks on a visual podcast, by the way. Because now you're going to actually watch me break instead of just assuming that I did. Which I did those other times, just so you know. Anyway, here's my reaction. Oh, sweet, you're watching Star Wars? That's my all-time favorite film franchise. Let me know what you think. I want to discuss it when you're done. That's my reaction to that.
I'm a mixture of the both. I'm a mixture of the two, because I will be genuinely surprised, like, oh, you've never seen it, and at the same time I'll be like, you have to tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought about it.
Let me know what you thought. Exactly. Because there's always going to be something that somebody's never seen. Every one of us has like never seen something that's actually like really popular or well known or been around a while.
Right.
So just like get over it. Like if it's something, especially if it's something that you like, get excited that you're gonna have somebody new to talk to about it.
Especially if they've never seen it, because I would be the person who'd be like, you've never seen it.
You're
what do you
gonna
want to
love
drink?
it. Yeah. You're
I'll
gonna
be like,
love
what do you
it.
want to drink?
Yeah.
We're grabbing a drink. We're watching this right now.
Well, I can understand that reaction, but you know the one I'm actually referring to.
Yeah, I know which one you're going for.
You know the one I'm referring to. LOL, you've never seen it? It's a 21-year-old movie. Yeah? Shut up. That's one. This was an old list that I had actually made a while ago. I don't even remember what this one was. It said Pokemon Generational Debates of Pokemon Go. I think that was one of those things where, like, it went with the boomer thing where people are like, I didn't have Pokemon Go, and all these kids are walking into street corner.
Oh,
like,
look at my cats.
Oh, I know. They're so cute. They're so cute. I had a wrestling themed one, which I'm not going to get into with you, but like a big thing with the wrestling community in general. It's another video game thing. We still get a lot of crap for being wrestling fans for the general populace, but there's so much infighting about which company is superior, and I'm just like, I don't understand like company loyalty. Like, if you enjoy pro wrestling, watch the pro wrestling that makes you happy and watch the wrestlers that make you happy. Because, like right now as we're recording this, the major companies are WWE, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
What's going on with WWE anyway? Has he stepped down?
So yes, and also no.
Of course. He
stepped down as CEO and his daughter took over, but he's still like there. So he hasn't stepped down, but
you know who he reminds me of? Fisk. From like Daredevil. He's just a yeah.
Okay, I get where you're going.
All right.
And then like there's also an elitist thing about like, oh, if you like wrestling, you have to watch all wrestling. No, you don't. Watch the stuff that makes you happy. You don't have to watch everything. And then other people are like, oh, but like, I want the other company to fail. Well, that's stupid. Then a whole bunch of people are not going to have anywhere to work. And I guarantee you like somebody that works for that company. So that just has to die. The final one, Eric. This is the final one. And then I've concluded the list that I had prepped on a notepad on my iPhone. Disney or Universal? There's an argument that's never going to die. But when it comes to the Disney versus Universal argument,
you have to realize they're not competing with one another. They want each other to succeed.
Right. Because each one does better with the direct result of the other one's success. You know how I know that? Universal succeeded simply because of Disney, and then Disney's numbers shot up over Harry Potter. They did.
Yeah. If one park opens something new and exciting, it
People
will
come down.
If you're going on vacation to Florida and Orlando, you're not just going to one park.
Right. A lot of people do everything, especially if there's something new and exciting.
So it's like Disney and Universal, like they think we hate each other. They don't. They fuck. They're just like, oh, what are you building over there? When's that gonna finish? March? I got you. I'll finish something up in October. We'll just trade off. And
Yeah. And that's the other thing
it's
too. Like,
yeah.
you remember Disney did nothing new during the opening of Harry Potter. That was a big
Oh
deal.
yeah, they didn't need to.
They didn't have to because they knew there was nothing that they were going to be able to compete with. So they
It wasn't
waited.
even. It's not about competing. It's
Yeah,
literally the only reason that they would build something is to bring people in, and they're not gonna bring people in like Harry Potter. So like, good job.
yeah. And then after like a year of Potter or so, they opened New Fantasyland. That was their expansion,
Yeah.
and now people showed up for that. So,
And then they opened up Star Wars Land, and Universal hasn't done anything. And I guarantee you, they got some people.
well, they did Hagrid and they did Velocicoaster, and I know they got people for those.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're talking about on a local level, there's maybe some merit there. But
Yeah,
if on at a local level, at least the people that I knew, they either had annual passes and worked for the other,
yeah,
so they could always go
yeah,
to the park.
mostly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that way they could just do whatever they wanted.
Yeah. You either worked
Cause,
at Disney and had an annual pass for Universal, or you worked at Universal and had an annual pass for Disney. And then you could just do whatever the fuck you want.
cause sometimes I'm in the mood for food and wine. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Halloween Horror Nights. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Rise of the Resistance. But sometimes I'm in the mood for Revenge of the Mummy. Like, I want to go and get a treat from City Walk. But tomorrow I want Dole Whip. So I have the choice.
And I think Universal had the one where you had the option of including parking in there, right?
Yes. I never paid for parking with my Universal Annual Pass.
I think that was an added feature though, because I think they have one where you can get an annual pass but not include parking.
No, mine did. I made sure it did
You're
because I know how
okay.
fast that's going to add up and I knew how much I wanted to go.
And then Disney, I think it doesn't even matter as long as you had. Or did
Disney,
they? I think it was also broken down like that. I think you had an annual pass, and then you had an annual pass that also included parking.
it's been a while, so I don't remember.
But yeah, I can't remember. But they're super cheap for like residents, right? It's normally like, let's say $300 or $400 for an annual pass. But if you're a Florida resident, you get like 30 or 40% off. It's something significant.
Yeah,
And then on
like
top of that,
worth owning it. Because
yeah,
you live there, you're probably going to go a lot.
or you could pay like a monthly option where you pay like $30 a month or whatever. And as long as you visit at least one time a month,
You get your money's worth.
you really do.
Right. Well, that I remember that was the big deal about my Universal Annual Pass was whatever it cost, it paid for itself by the third visit. So I knew that I was getting
Ooh,
something good out of it.
ooh, I'm all blurred out on mine. What's going on?
It's because we're at the end of the episode and your camera's like, we're done, Eric. We're done with this.
I guess so. Where the fuck is it focusing on?
Not you, apparently.
Guess not.
That's got to be your camera. That's not
Right?
because
I
I
was like
haven't touched
focused like
anything. I haven't touched anything.
okay, there it goes. What? That was fucking wild. All right. Whatever.
Yeah, so lots of arguments that are just kind of pointless, but at the same time, I don't mind having debates about stuff. But you have to have merit behind your debate. You can't just tell me that I'm dumb for not liking something because that's not an argument. Like if I tell you something that's factually incorrect, like the earth is flat, which is factually incorrect, like
I wouldn't even call you dumb because I'd be more interested in trying to figure out why you think the
how
Earth is
somebody
flat.
thinks that way exactly,
Yeah.
and it is actually kind of fascinating when you hear what their arguments are and you realize they're just like, so you're just saying this because you have whack point of view and you're not understanding like basic science. But
Who I actually knew somebody who thought the Earth was flat, and they're just like, "Well, the moon is flat." I'm just like, "What?"
no, it isn't. It's
And
literally
they're
round.
just,
You can
yeah.
see
He's
it.
just like, "Don't you think it's kind of ironic that you only see one side of the like moon ever?"
Yeah, it's
And
called
I'm just like,
tidal lock, dummy.
"Yeah." I'm just like, "Are you fucking joking?"
Yeah, tidal lock. Look it up. It's science. I mean, like the big thing about the whole flat Earth thing is like you can literally go on YouTube right now and watch live footage from the space station because they have a channel that just plays live footage from the space station, and like you can interact. They have times when you can actually interact with the astronauts. So like it's not doctored footage, but still not good enough for people. They're still going to come up with a way. Oh, it's fake. It's CGI. Well, if you can CGI argue your way out of anything. Like I could say right now that your cats aren't real and you CGI'd them in. And
You think I would only CGI two cats in?
yeah, exactly. And there's the argument. And that's where the argument fell apart. Eric, you got 12 cats? Well, 2 of them are real. Figure out which ones.
Look at them. Look
I
at
know.
them. Waking up. They're gonna bother me for food.
I have the recliner right behind me here, and there's no cats in it, which is very disappointing. So, very disappointed right now, guys. But
You need to
yes,
put the recliner closer to the window. That's why I put this cat tower here. It's so close to the window.
well, I also moved the recliner and put it in front of the TV that's next to the computer because that's where my Raspberry Pi's hooked up, and that's where all 725 of my Super Nintendo games can be accessed. So,
Nice.
just saying. Lean back in the recliner, grab the controller, and well, it's actually more than 725. That's actually the number of North American releases. I have European releases and a couple of Japan exclusives on there too, but I don't play them that often because I can't read Japanese. I'm just like, oh, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, yay! I can't read what's happening. I don't know what's going on with the story mode, but as long as I can figure out the controls, I can play the game. So, but yeah, like there are a lot of argument, like, and I'm okay having a debate about anything. Literally, like I'll have the pineapple on pizza debate with somebody, but my argument's gonna end up boiling down to, well, if I like it, why do you care? Like, I need you to tell me why that is. Well, it's not real pizza, right? But that still doesn't answer my point. And I've seen what other people put on Philly cheesesteaks that's not authentic in this area. So like,
Panda Express isn't real Chinese food. I still fucking like it.
McDonald's is probably not real meat, but I'll still eat a quarter pounder. So
It's real meat.
I know it is. It's just not the best meat.
It's not real good meat,
It's not
but it's.
great. I think, yeah, it's one of those things where if you want to have a debate about something, I don't know, don't sound dumb. Just like, and that's cool. And I will rather. I'll say this too. Like, I'd rather have a passionate conversation with somebody about anything than somebody who's apathetic. Oh, I don't care about any pizza toppings. Well, all right. Well, there's no point talking to you. Like, at least they're passionate about it. But have some substance to your arguments and stop letting the internet dictate your opinions. Like, if you actually like pineapple on pizza, or you like Nickelback, or you decorate for Christmas in July, just do it. And don't let the internet tell you what to do. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. If what you do right now does not negatively affect me, my health, my well-being, my money, I don't care. It's not illegal or immoral.
Yet.
We're getting there. We're getting there. But Eric, anything you want to plug?
um, can't think of anything. Maybe
Right.
our podcast. Find us
Yeah.
at Nerd Table.
Yep.
And if you
You're
need to
still.
take a vacation,
Uh,
who do we do that through?
that would be
Oh,
emersoncotton.teletravel.com.
yeah.
You can take a vacation. And by the way, he works off commission, so you don't pay anything for his vacation services. You don't. You pay nothing. You pay nothing.
So if you do take a vacation, be excellent to one another.
There you go. Um, Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/CKCC online. I'm getting back on Twitch, guys. I'm playing through the Super Nintendo library. All of them. This is going to be fun. The plan is, I want to at least do like an hour stream each session, at least an hour. I know that like there are some games that aren't going to negate the hour, so and I'm going in release order. So like the very first game on that list would be Super Mario World. Well, that's an easy hour. You can easily get an hour out of Super Mario World. The next game is F-Zero. It's a racing game and it's fun, but I don't know if I would personally be able to get an hour out of it, so I'm going to look at see what comes next. Games with long plays, long games that you ain't getting anywhere in an hour with. Zelda, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Mario RPG. There will be multi-sessions for those games where I will revisit those if I'm having a good time, which is why I use those examples, because I know there are probably some games I will not be having a good time and will not need to revisit. But the idea is to officially be able to say that I've played every Super Nintendo game ever released in North America. That's the goal. I'm going to start with one a week. But I've done the math. It'll take me 14 years to get through every game with one a week. So I'm going to try to speed up the process a little bit.
We'll do 10 a week, and it'll take you 1.4 years.
10 a week. Good God. I can't even do one a night, dude. That would be too much. But...
Well, you know, there's a thing called cocaine. No, I was kidding.
You know, I can edit, but I don't want to, so knock it off.
All right, fine.
Just stop. Retract your statement.
I retract my statement.
Tony Khan, pay no attention to what Eric just said.
All I'm saying is there's caffeine in Coke.
Oh my God, stop. Anyway, check out the other stuff we got on YouTube, too. We're getting more into the video content. Dan and I are doing Trivia Night, where we've been making trivia questions for each other. There are currently 2 episodes up for that, where I answer Simpsons trivia and Dan answers NBA trivia. And then, of course, if you guys want to be part of that show or this show or any of our shows, all you got to do is reach out. You can send me a message on any of the social medias. I'm on all of them at Chris O'Mealy. You can try to reach Eric, but he's a little less responsive on social media, so just come to me. You're like, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. It's 100% accurate.
The email I use for everything is omealypodcast@gmail.com. You can always shoot me an email and reach out to me that way. That's cool. And then the only thing I will say is that we do favor our patrons at patreon.com/clubkayfabe. They get priority for all content, and so do the content creators who contribute to CKCC Radio and also CKCC Video. So we'll include you, but they do get the priority stuff. So if they contact us at the same time you do, we will take their idea first, but that doesn't mean we're not open to ideas. So if you're just like, hey, I'm a friggin' expert when it comes to Harry Potter, make me a trivia quiz and challenge me. Okay, cool. But then a patron messages me and says, I'm an expert on football, give me an NFL quiz. I'm doing the NFL quiz first. That's really all that means. I'm prioritizing that, because they actually pay us money and keep this stuff going. But patreon.com/clubkayfabe, you get exclusive content starting at only $5 a month, and you get more influence with each tier. So entirely up to you, though. If you can at least get in at the $5 level, you're doing us a great favor. That should be it. I think I did all of my plugs, Eric, so I think we're done.
All right.
And check us out next Sunday night. What are we going to talk about, Eric? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
Nope, nothing yet.
We'll figure it out. And then, of course, I will throw this out here, too. We are now officially opening this up to guests. Chris and Eric talk with guest whoever, and we'll talk about the stuff you guys want to talk about. In fact, one of our patrons might be our first guest. So,
who?
That would be Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a lot we can talk about with Jeff. We can talk about paranormal investigation, being a published author, and of course Disney, Queen.
So
yeah, there's a lot we can talk to Jeff about. So
all right, camera, mic, light. Everything you need.
Exactly. Yeah. All you need is the webcam and a microphone. You can do it on your phone if you really want to. Like, that's fine. Just make your at least light yourself up enough that we can see you. Like I've got the ring light. Eric's got a little lighting set up there. I saw it reflected in his glasses. I don't know what he actually has, but I can see it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. I see it. So, yeah, just you don't have to look super presentable. I actually shaved before we did this, which is weird because like
I didn't.
Yeah, I tried to care a little bit about my personal appearance, but that doesn't happen very often. So, but yeah, we went about an hour 45 minutes. Eric, this was fun. So
Yeah.
Go ahead, give everybody your closing words one more time.
All right, be excellent to one another.
Please do. Yeah, I'll see you guys next Sunday night.